All right, welcome. Today I'm working on painting my giant Thanos paintings, and I'm pretty excited about it. I've been excited to work on this piece for a while now, and finally getting some time to. We're gonna see how much progress we can make on this piece. Just had good. We're gonna do an acrylic underpainting first. So we're just gonna try and get the whole thing sort of blocked in, just with the general shapes. We're gonna do kind of a warm, this is raw sienna, it's just kind of a warm brown. The overall painting is gonna be a nice, that was the paint, I promise. The overall tone of the painting is gonna be a nice cool, but having a warm underpainting helps a lot. So we're gonna see what that ends up looking like. If you're watching live, welcome. If you're watching on a replay, thanks for checking it out. So this is our color study that we did, just as our practice painting. This is just a little 8x10 canvas, and the reference that we're using, that we used on the color study, is something I made in 3D. And so I 3D sculpted and modeled Thanos in Blender, and then based off of that, I made the color study reference. Alright, so I'm just gonna thin this down, making like a nice wash type of paint. So we're just gonna try and like scrub in this paint all over this whole background first. I think that'll be the first thing to work on, is getting the background generally locked in. I don't care if I have a lot of brush strokes showing. I want the background to be generally pretty loose, and just some color back there to start. This painting's probably going to take me like a good week or two if I can focus a lot on it. I'm going to move here. What's up, JV? Jonathan. Yeah, this piece is going to be awesome. I'm super excited to get the commission. And he pretty much just said, like, I want the biggest painting you can do, biggest size canvas. Just go all out, like no excuses. Just all out, do whatever, just do what you can do. So when we initially talked about this piece, he was under the impression that I would be doing a local delivery. What's up, Pedro? How you doing? We were talking about doing a local delivery for this one because he lived right nearby Kansas City. But now he lives in like Utah or something, so yeah, local delivery might be difficult. Also, I apologize for my squeaky chair. It's the only chair tall enough that I can reach the top of the canvas and the bottom of the canvas. So I'm using like a big old 2-inch brush for this. just whatever I can use to try and get the most coverage possible while still having a bit of control. But working this big, you just kind of use whatever's gonna get the job done. I could technically use like a paint roller if I wanted. Just trying to get this wash over the whole background, and I might even do this for the face as well. Is that Thanos? Sure is. That's what I'm going for. And it is perfectly okay to go over my sketch. It is cool. Yeah, he just wanted to see, like, no excuses. Like, what can I paint when just given no limitations on canvas size. He was pretty loose with the commission guidelines too. He had like a couple of things where he was like, all right, can we turn his head like down a little bit and like make him look like, can we add like a bit more of a grin? Yeah, it's huge. This thing is massive. This is the biggest painting I will have ever worked on, besides like the one mural that I did like 7 years ago. That's on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to see that. It's a big Star Trek mural. Move this so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing over here. Yeah, I did a Star Trek mural way back in the day, and that's the only other time I've painted any bigger than this. So now, if anyone asks me like what's the biggest painting you've ever done, I can be like, Thanos. Definitely Thanos. But this is kind of inspiring me to maybe try my own piece. Not my own piece, this is my own piece, but like come up with my own composition or something and do another one this big, because this is pretty cool. We'll also see how this does online, because I've seen a lot of people post paintings online, and like the bigger the painting is, it seems like the more people like stop scrolling and look at it. I've definitely found that to be the case with my canvas prints. Like if I make a canvas print of a painting and I do the slow turnaround online, like the algorithm seems to like so much, the bigger the painting, even if it's not even like my best painting, the bigger the canvas, the more people seem to like it. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. We're just getting the whole thing kind of background kind of filled in, and then we'll do the same for the face, but we're going to be a lot more like direct about how we're putting the color on, and we're going to start working in layers. I probably will do a wash over the whole thing for the face too, and then just start putting layers on. It's going to be fun to paint like all of those like face wrinkles and all that crap in there, getting just so much space to just put in all the detail that we want. It's going to be awesome. Alright, just trying to knock out any big obnoxious brush strokes up here. Keep it generally just kind of flat. One thing that I've been thinking about is having like kind of like some misty, like ashy stuff going in the background to imply like the Thanos snap, like turns people to dust, you know, just like stuff going on in the background. I think that could be kind of cool. It's quite the workout. Yeah, well, we'll see how this goes. I kind of hurt my back a little bit yesterday, and I was pretty much just laying in bed all day. I'm gonna put this down here for now. Yeah, I was just kind of laying in bed because I ended up hurting myself. So we'll see. I'm feeling a lot better today, but you never know with back problems when it's gonna start hurting. So I'm just gonna paint as long as I can. See what happens. How are you? I'm great. How are you? I'm excited to be painting. The overall painting is generally cool colors, but having this really bright, warm color underneath is supposed to make those cool colors really pop, and it's gonna be cool. Yeah, if you're in Virginia, go see Ryan and go snag some prints. If you buy prints from us in person, they're buy two get one free, which that is not something I offer online. So the best way to get prints, if you wanted some prints, is to grab them from us in person. And my buddy Ryan on YouTube, he's chatting right here. He's going to be selling my art at Nightmare Weekend Richmond. So definitely, if you're in the Virginia area and you want some of our art, my wife and I go see Ryan. He's our East Coast guy. Whereas me and Shannon mostly stay over in the Midwest, and I occasionally fly to West Coast shows. I've got San Francisco coming up. So I'll be at Fan Expo San Francisco here in next month sometime. It's gonna be awesome. I hope. I've never done this one before, so we'll see how it goes. I've only flown to 200 shows. And sometimes they go well and sometimes they don't. So let's hope this is one of those that goes well. Yesterday I spent about an hour just trying to get this line work on the canvas. Used a large projector and projected my 3D sculpt onto the large canvas, and then kind of traced around the lines. And don't let anyone ever tell you that tracing is cheating. Tracing is absolutely a very valuable technique that should not have stigma around it. So, coming from a full-time professional artist, don't feel bad for tracing. It's okay. Especially if you made the reference. In this case, like, I fully handmade this entire reference in 3D. Blender sculpting, 3D modeling to make the armor. I textured it. Added my own colors and textures and lighting and everything. So nothing to feel bad about for using reference or tracing reference. Don't let anyone tell you different. Don't have to move tablet. Whew. Almost spilled my water cup all over the place. Just thinning down the paint with some water so it spreads a little farther. Going over some of those brush strokes again just to try and knock them loose so they don't show up so streaky. What we don't want is like just straight up and down, side to side brush strokes. We want the brush strokes to try and stay as random and loose as possible. Colors you're using, oil or acrylic. Right now I'm using acrylic for the blocking, and then once I get the blocking done I'll switch to oils and we'll get all the nice colors and details done. Color just reacts much differently between the two mediums, and acrylics are very cheap and they're very they go a long way. So like I can use just a little bit of cheap acrylic and I can cover the entire canvas, whereas oils are expensive and they don't cover quite as much surface area as quickly. I'd have to do layer upon layer upon layer to cover this much paint with oils if I were to start this process with oil paint. And I know that a lot of people do. I'm not one of them. I like to just quick and dirty cover the whole canvas with a bunch of cheap paint and then use the good stuff for detail work and the actual colors that the final piece will be. Whereas this is just going to be my underpainting for now. Getting into this corner where I can barely reach. I'm also using very cheap brushes. This is a brush set that you can get from like Walmart for $10. It comes with like 5 brushes or something, so don't worry about using like super fancy, expensive brushes for stuff like this either. No excuses to make good art. Never ever make excuses. You can make art with whatever you want, whatever you have. Just make it. Yeah, do expensive supplies help sometimes for certain things? Sure they do. But absolutely do not need a bunch of expensive supplies. What do I want for this? I think I want to use blocking stuff. I think I'm just going to keep going with the red, but I might start mixing some blues. For the armor, I think I'm gonna mix some blues in there. Nice cobalt blue or something. We're still gonna thin this down, and it's gonna come out as a nice like dark purple almost. So we're going for like opposites here. And there's like a really warm color. I want the underpainting to be a nice cool color. too dark. I need a bit more of this one. How your pirate ship turn out? It is still in progress. I have not quite finished it yet. Good to see you again. This is what it looks like right now. I think I'm gonna redo the skull. It's been sitting on this one for a minute. I think I'm gonna redo the skull. I think the skull is way too big right now, and it's looking down at the ocean too much. So I think I'm gonna paint over the skull and then repaint it to look a bit more interesting. Depends on the artist. I think you're a great artist. Thank you. Yep, I've seen artists that use like the most random paint supplies that you wouldn't even think of. There's people who can like paint, in quotes, paint realistically with like nature, like rocks on the ground. You can make art with whatever you want. There's people that can paint with their toes, and people that can paint in virtual reality. Like, you kind of do whatever you want. Doesn't matter if you have nice art supplies. It's about what you know and what you can do with what you know. I am streaming right now. The goal here is to get this paint thin enough that I can still see my sketch underneath. I just want to wash the whole thing over with this nice dark cool color. I'll still be able to see my sketch underneath. Appreciate seeing the process of painting. Yeah. It's fun to see something come together. Now my reference is getting in the way again. Get the whole entire canvas covered with this thin light wash. The more water I put in this, the better. More red. Back to a cooler color. Or sorry, a warmer color. These really dark areas, want the underpainting to be a bit warmer. It's also good to have some of those brush strokes showing through on stuff like this. I want the background to not really have that many brush strokes, but I want the details. I want to be able to show some brush strokes through there. On this up a bit down here. Get nice and scratchy. It's like worn metal. More blue in there. Let's get back over to these lighter areas. And back to this area over here that I can't reach again. Go, armor. Onto the face. Just wash over it. I want to be able to see my sketch underneath. my alarm to clean my fish tank. What time is it there right now? Right now in Missouri, in the United States, it is 12:30. Just midday for us. What about you? Back to kind of a cool color. I'm very serious about this painting. Oh, maybe I am. I don't know. I'm just having fun. This is like the funnest part for me. Like this part, and then the last part where I'm like putting in all the last bits of details. That's most satisfying for me. Gonna kind of put this whole wash over this face area, just very lightly. Still need to be able to see the sketch. Nice. And there we go. Painting's finished. No, it's not. But now we can grab a brush about half this size and start going in with some darker colors. We're going to work dark to light. Could actually probably go in a scrub out some of these colors as well. Some water. And do that type of deal. Yeah, that looks good. Like where we know that there's going to be highlight, we can do this. Some paper towels might be handy too. Have a rag here. Wipe away paint. Just using water on a stiff brush based on our sketch. Nothing super detailed, nothing crazy, just generally loose. Might even be enough for that. Definitely in the eyes. Ah, you're good. Get a little bit of paint off of the eyes here. Bring those to life a little bit. And then also up here, while this is still wet, can add some highlights up here. Not necessarily adding highlights, we're just wiping away shadow. It's going to end up looking super cool. The most important part about this is doing it fast enough so that the paint doesn't dry completely and we don't have the ability to do this part anymore. You gotta do it quick while the paint's all still wet. Just always consulting the reference, making sure I'm putting these in the right places. Starting to dry up there. Whoop. Yeah. I think I might have took a little too much off there, but that's okay. We're just generally trying to get stuff in the right spots. Just by wiping away the paint that we already had up there, get these nice bright highlights. This one's pretty dry already. Only where I need it. Gonna bump straight into copyright litigation. Actually, no. It is completely 100% legal to sell an original painting of a fan art. Now, once I make prints of this, yes, don't tell Marvel or Disney. But the original painting, the commission that I'm working on right now, is 100% legal. Mm-hmm. I've been making fan art since I was like 17 years old, and I have over almost 9,000 sales on Etsy. I've been to conventions all over the country, selling my art to hundreds of thousands of people all over the country, and I've had, in my entire career, I've had 4 listings taken off of Etsy, and that's the only trouble I've ever gotten in, and that is not much trouble at all in the grand scheme of things. So I'm not worried. But my goal is that if anyone did, yeah, oh, Ryan's a friend of mine. He's just being a goof. If I ever did get contacted by Marvel or Disney, I'd be like, hey, instead of suing me, you could just hire me, and we could work out a deal, and I'll just paint officially for you. So that's my hope if they ever did see my stuff, because I have friends that's actually happened with, and that's how they find a lot of their artists nowadays. Is they see them at conventions or online doing well, people liking their stuff, and then they say, yeah, your stuff is good. You want a booth at Comic-Con? That's how my buddy Kai got his San Diego booth, was he was selling his fan art at a show in Anaheim. And they walked up to him and they said, dude, your stuff is dope. How'd you feel about setting up at the San Diego Comic-Con Marvel booth? And he was like, yes, please. And I'm like, I'm super jealous. You're gonna tell me too. You're gonna know it's so hard. Alrighty. Some areas down here that definitely have some highlights showing through. Right here. Big area right here. Yeah, that part's too dry. I'll just need to use white paint on that. All right now is just to know where everything is in my sketch. Nice. Are those emojis? Because what they show through on my computer through Streamlabs is just blue face smiling. Face turquoise drinking coffee, face turquoise drinking coffee, face turquoise drinking coffee. I don't know if that's supposed to look like anything, but you know. Alright, now I'm going to grab a nice dark purpley color. I'm going to start blocking in some of these darker shapes. Now that we've got the wash completely covered, what I want is just all the values looking really good. Trying to keep everything nice and purple color schemed as well. There we go. Starting to take shape. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Move this over. See it a bit better. Nice. So excited to see the end result. Thank you for sharing. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for appreciating it. Pretty cool what barely an hour can do. I like it. That nice highlight spot up there. Oh, I hate this chair. It's so squeaky. Pretty much just using this mixture of red and blue and using more blue and more red in areas where it needs to be cooler, lighter. Seems like it's going pretty well so far. Watching internationally, intermittently, that's okay. You're at a farmer's market, help my buddy sell his stuff. There you go. Now you've got all the salesman skills. I bet you're moving all of his stuff. Is that the right spot? Here. Here. The professional paint smeared, that's right. Smearer, yes. The professional paint smearer. I could also be the professionally paint smeared, because I do often have paint smeared all over me. That's almost looking like a value study. And once I get the colors on there, it'll be pretty cool. One of the reasons I like having either a camera just recording it or a stream going, so I can look at my monitor across the room. It's like 5 feet away from me, but I can look at it from a distance, and it's almost like taking a step back if I were to physically stand up and go, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Whereas now I can just kind of can look at my monitor over here. The camera's way over here. I can look at my monitor over here and see what I'm doing, what's working, what's not, all that. I wish I had the patience to smear paint. We could. You have the patience to do much more difficult things that most people spend a lifetime learning to do, and you just spend the time to figure those out. So could do it. I'd be happy to help. It's just you have to have the desire to spend the time doing that. Is the main thing. That's the main issue, the main challenge. Let's see, what does this do? Goes over, down. This goes over and down right here. And this gets much darker, which means I need much more red, a little bit less water. This whole area down here is very, very dark. Point where you can't even really see the lines. It's all just melded in. Ryan, your print shipped. There we go. Got that shadow going down here. Might as well keep working with that. It's going pretty well so far. Some nice blue and red mixture. We're not going for color at this point, we're really just going for values. Right in here is actually super dark. Looking good, thank you. You have no drive for paint, I know it. If you did, I'm sure you'd be a master. Actually the reflection of his chin down underneath this thing. Pretty cool. Great painter, thank you. And anyone can get as good as they want to get. It's all just a matter of how much time you're willing to put into it. The only reason I am able to do this is because I put a lot of time into it. A lot of time. Time and practice, that's the main thing. If you can put the time and the practice into a thing, you can absolutely get really, really, really good at just about anything. Anything that you're willing to put time and effort into. Did this shadow backwards. The only thing different between a giant painting and one of my smaller paintings is that I'm having to like get up off of my chair, get down off my chair, and like stand up and sit down, and it's just a lot more movement. That's the biggest difference so far, is that there's just a lot more movement involved. Having a hurt back right now is kind of annoying. See, this one, and then this one. Okay. Just don't want to lose my reference. I'm painting my own 3D model that I made. It's pretty cool. I made the reference for this completely in 3D in Blender. Nice. Get this darker value brought all the way down here. At this point, it is not about color whatsoever. This is all just about getting the right value in the right places. about value and just keeping the highlights and the shadows in the right spots. Alrighty. Just a little bit down the forehead. Nice. Good. What's up? I'll play music this time. Yeah, I'm multi-streaming to a couple different platforms. Just seeing what happens because I've been having a lot more fun streaming the last couple days, and I didn't want to have my streams shut down because there's copyrighted music in the background. So I'm just painting this time. Remember last time you showed the Thanos 3D model, what happened to that? It is right here. I've got it on the iPad. That's what I'm using as reference right now. I also 3D printed it. Yeah, dude, this thing is 40 by 60. This is massive. Biggest painting I've ever worked on, by far. There's way too much paint. You have to ship it? I don't know. When me and the client had initially talked, it was under the impression that he was local and that he would be picking it up. But since I took the commission, it's he's moved. So I don't know if he's still gonna be out here again at some point soon. But I'll figure that out when I need to. At this point, I just want to paint the picture. Not worry about that. So that's what I'm doing. Hope I don't have to ship it. It's going to be annoying. Get a bit more warmth up in his face. Never seen someone paint something this big. Yeah, it's besides the mural that I painted, it's the biggest thing I'll ever have painted before. I did a mural back in like 2017 or something. That was fun, but it was a lot. Gotta keep the eyes nice and alive. So definitely more value I can add to the helmet pieces back here. Just using like a red and blue mixture. Thought about using brown, but I wasn't vibing with that. Tried it for the background, but the background won't look anything like it does right now by the time it's done. value on there right now. It's just too bright. I've been planning this piece for like almost 6 months now. Ugh, I need a wireless mouse next time I do this, so I can just move it over. Yeah, I think I started the 3D model of this piece like last year, or no, it was like beginning of this year sometime. It's been a minute. But this guy's paying me quite well for this one, so I'm taking my time with it and trying to do my best, make it look as good as possible. Yeah, that's great. Now this is like one of those like dream clients that every artist hopes to meet someday, where they're just like, you know what? I have an open budget. It's also, I don't know how much he would, I'm not saying who it is or anything, but no, he pretty much is trying to spend more money on his business. He's a business owner. He's like a CEO of a company, and so he's trying to spend a bit more on his business budget, because this is going in his office, so that his taxes aren't as high. He's using it as like a tax break. And he's like, and he even mentioned like having more paintings for me to do later. And I was like, hey man, you hit me up whenever you want. That's like dream client right there. It's a client who says like, I have no budget and I'm trying to spend more money. That is exactly what an artist wants to hear. Yeah, he actually hit me up like over a year ago talking about this the first time, and we like decided on a rate and decided like how big he wanted the painting and all this, and so it was looking like it was all good to go, and then I just didn't hear from him. He got busy. I didn't hear from him for like, I think it was like 11 months. It was almost a year. And he hit me up again this year, like around February, I think, and he was like, hey, I know I kind of ghosted you before. If you're still down to do that project that we talked about, I still am down to pay you for it. And I know your rates have probably gone up since it's been a year, so if you need to up the price or whatever, that's fine. And I was like, I mean, I'm not trying to like take advantage of anyone, but no, I'm not taking advantage of him. He's awesome. I have quoted many other people the same rates. Gotten close a few times too. This is definitely, he's the only one who's taken me up on a massive 40 by 60 painting. Everyone else usually goes for the smaller canvas size that I don't charge quite as much for. This is how you get metal to look metal. You just paint around where the reflections and the highlights and shadows are. Just focus on values. It's not about having like the right color. It's not about having the right type of paint. It's all just about values. So right now I'm not even using the color that I will be using for the final piece. I'm just using values. Okay. I'm not going down here at all. I need to move some stuff. I hate this chair. Best of luck, thank you. My back is dying right now. Hurt my back yesterday and now it's just driving me crazy. I was getting a haircut from my barber here at Etsy and he ordered the chasm. Nice. That's awesome. Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that. What kind of print did you order? Today? It hasn't come in yet. But that's awesome though. This chair is so squeaky. I hope it's not as loud as it is in the mic as it is for me. It's pretty loud for me. So squeaky. It's 37 when I woke up. Oh, yeah, it's kind of hot in my basement right now. This is pretty toasty. I think I might need to lose the flannel soon. It is warm. All dark. Look at this, that's all dark over there. Drop my canvas. Don't do it. This easel's threatening me. phone just keeps buzzing nonstop. I just want to paint. I'll look at my phone. You bring me food?
Yeah, I figured you might be hungry.
I appreciate that. I'm very hungry. Thanks. You see? Can't stand up straight. It's bad.
Are you streaming currently?
Mm-hmm.
Complaining on your stream is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very big.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool though. Getting those values in.
Doesn't look like you're doing what he suggested.
What?
Which is do the opposite color.
I did. I started with the blues in the warm areas and the reds in the cool areas.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was very kind of her. She brought me down a sandwich. And I'm almost out of energy. My back is just killing me. Keep going for a little bit, but I'll have to call it quits here pretty soon. Even just for a block in, this is not a bad start. Not a bad start at all. There's a couple more shadows and highlights that I could definitely push. Trying to get these nice face lines in here. Well, this was an interesting experiment, doing the multi-stream again. So I'm streaming on like a bunch of different platforms right now. Oh. Sorry TikTok if you're watching. I did not see did not see that anyone had even seen. Appreciate the gifts, and yeah, if anyone's still here on TikTok, I can see your messages now. It wasn't showing me the TikTok messages, so apologize for that. It only shows the messages through Streamlabs. So I was sitting here thinking I had 0 viewers on TikTok, and turns out I had some viewers on TikTok. Sorry. Yeah, multi-streaming to a couple different platforms right now, so seems like Facebook and Instagram not really doing anything, but did have people talking to me on TikTok apparently. I couldn't even see their messages because it didn't show them. It shows me YouTube, which that is the thing that I've kind of confirmed, is that YouTube kind of seems like the way to go right now for me anyway. Been trying streaming on a couple of different platforms, but it seems like YouTube is the only one where people really stay and watch, except for TikTok a little bit. think maybe for my next stream I'll do YouTube and TikTok. See if that'll do the trick. Alright guys, I think I'll end the stream for now. But if you're not already following me, go ahead and follow me. Give me a sub, give me a follow, give me a like, whatever. And that'll tell the algorithm that you want to see more of my stuff. And yeah, next time I'm live, just feel free to join, and we'll keep rolling with this piece. And it's looking pretty cool so far. Looking good, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream for now and get back to it.